Hello! Today I'm going to show you how to make blackberry jam. It's really easy, so if you've never made jam before, this is a great recipe to try. Here's my blackberries. I've got 1 kilo of blackberries. I picked them myself, so they're not too pretty, but they'll taste delicious. A kilo of sugar, not the preserving sugar, just normal sugar is fine. The juice of 1 lemon, about half a teaspoon of butter you'll need at the end as well. Now I have a thermometer, which does help a bit, but I will show you how to do it without a thermometer as well. It's really quite easy. You'll also need some empty jars as well to store your jam, unless you're planning to eat 1 kilo of jam in one go, and a few plates to put in the freezer. You need to sterilise your jars before you put jam into them, so your jam doesn't go mouldy. The easiest way to do this is to give your empty jars a really good wash in hot soapy water or run them through your dishwasher, and then take the jars and the lids and then put them in a hot oven, probably around 220 Celsius. That's about 7. Pop them in there and leave them there for about 15 minutes, and after 15 minutes just turn the oven off and then leave them there until you are ready to put jam in them. So you need about 3 small plates or saucers, and just pop them in the freezer for later. You want to get them really cold because they'll help you tell if your jam's set later on. So now the preparation's done, let's make the jam. You'll need a nice big pan like this. If you don't have a special preserving pan, that's absolutely fine. I don't have one, I just use this. You just pop the blackberries in there, just on their own. You don't need any water or anything like that. So just put the blackberries on a medium heat and then just stir them until the juice comes out. This will probably take about 4 or 5 minutes. And to speed it up, you can just use a little potato masher and mash them up a bit, because they're all going to break down eventually, so that's absolutely fine. Blackberries stain like mad. They stain everything, your clothes, your surfaces, so be really careful. If there is a splash, then mop it up immediately. So 4 or 5 minutes later, this is what you're looking for. All the juice from the berries released, just a nice sloppy consistency, and at this point you want to add the sugar. In it goes. 1 kilo of sugar. Keep that heat medium, do not turn it high. What we're going to do is we're going to stir the sugar so it's dissolved into the juice. If you turn it high, then it will start to set too early. Add the lemon and keep stirring along with the sugar until it's dissolved. The lemon acts as a kind of natural chemical. The acidity helps it to set. It's a bit scientific, jam making, but that's nothing to be afraid of. Just stick to the recipe and you'll be absolutely fine. Okay, the sugar's dissolved now. If you can hear that, no gritty noises. So the jam is really runny, but don't worry. There's a little raw berry there. I'm just going to fish him out. Don't worry. What we're going to do next is we're going to do the science bit. So we're going to get the jam really hot, and then there's going to be the clever magic reaction with the sugar, and that's going to make it set. Please be careful, this is going to be really hot. So the thermometer shows that it's just under 105 degrees, but that is what you need, that consistent bubbling. That's called a rolling boil, and you need that to boil like that for 15 minutes. As you can see, there's some white scum on the top. Some people scoop this off, but if you keep doing that every time it appears, then you'll end up with no jam. I actually don't bother. I think it's fine, and I have a little trick for dissolving it at the end. So here's how you can tell if the jam is set. Remember the plates that we put in the freezer earlier? Take one, and then carefully take a spoonful of the hot jam, pop it on the saucer. When the jam's gone cold, then just run your finger through it again. You can see that's set, because I can run my finger through it and it doesn't run back to the middle so quickly. You don't want it to be really hard because you'll never get out of the jar. That's just perfect. So, do you remember earlier what I said about the white scum? There it is. Some people scoop it off, but if you spoon in just that much butter, half a teaspoon, stir it in, it just dissolves all that scum. Right, so get your jars out of the oven. They'll still be quite hot, but you want them to be hot. Lids. Right, to minimise burns, I ladle the jam into a jug before I pour it into the jars. Fill up the jars carefully, quite high, probably like this. You just don't want as much air in the top. Right, while the jam is hot and the lids are hot and the jars are hot, this is what you need to do. Take the lid, screw it on, make sure you've got some thick gloves. Screw that on really, really tightly. What will happen as the jam cools, it will suck the lid in, and it will be like, you know, when you buy jam in the supermarket and the little button in the top of the jar is down. So screw that on really tight. That button will go down when the jam cools and it will suck it in. Just make sure it's on really, really tightly. Say cheese.
You say cheese.
Cheese. And that's all there is to it. He's supposed to be in bed, but he's not. Here's some jam which I made earlier, which I made last week. And me and Joshua picked the berries, didn't we?
Yeah.
And look at that. It's just, I mean, it's the same consistency as shop bought jam, but the satisfaction of making your own jam, free berries, and all natural ingredients is just fantastic. So if you've not made it before, just try it. It's really easy and you'll be really chuffed with yourself. Full recipe details are on my website, which is gourmetmum.tv, as well as other easy recipes to help budget.
You're talking to Daddy.
Thank you for watching and we'll see you next time. Say bye!
Bye!